So let's talk about Pi Network. For a while now, it's been this massive social experiment in cryptocurrency, growing its user base to tens of millions of people all around the world. The whole idea was simple. Mine crypto on your phone without draining your battery or needing a supercomputer. It's been a long journey of building, testing, and waiting. Building, testing, and waiting. A lot of people have been asking, when is this all going to mean something? Well, it looks like we're finally getting some answers. The latest developments aren't just minor tweaks. They feel like the foundation for something much bigger, a potential leap from a closed network to a real functional digital economy. The buzz around Pi has always been about its potential for mass adoption. Unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, which can feel intimidating for newcomers, Bitcoin Ethereum Pi was designed to be user-friendly from day one. You just tap a button. But for that user base to have a real valuable asset, the network needs to mature. It needs a stable value, a robust backbone, and clear rules. This is where the latest updates come in. We're not just talking about bug fixes. We're seeing the first real steps toward establishing a concrete value for PiCoin and upgrading the core technology that powers the entire ecosystem. This is the stuff that turns a project from a concept into a contender. Think of it like this. For years, Pi has been in its development phase, like a car being assembled piece by piece in a factory. Engine, chassis, interior. Now, it feels like the factory doors are about to open and the car is being prepped for its first drive on a public road. Stable Global Consensus Value, GCV, testing of Stellar Protocol, v23 final quality checks engine tuning. This isn't just another update, it's a signal that the project is getting serious about its endgame, launching a mainnet that's ready for the real world. What will one Pi be worth? While the value is still being tested and is not final, a tangible, high-value number being used in controlled tests is a massive step forward. Alright, let's break down this term you're hearing everywhere, GCV or Global Consensus Value. In simple terms, it's an agreement among the community on what one Pi coin should be worth. It's not a price set by an exchange or a single person, but a value the community collectively decides to honor good services. The goal is to create a stable economic environment from the start, rather than letting the price swing wildly based on speculation, which happens with a lot of new cryptocurrencies. The GCV is meant to be a foundational price point that everyone can rely on. Now for the big number, $314,159. If you're a math person, you probably see it right away. The digits are the first 6 numbers of Pi, 314159. This isn't a coincidence. So who is the person kicking off these important tests? His name is Kosasih, a prominent figure within the Pi network community, and a moderator known for his deep involvement. Kosasih isn't part of the core development team at Stanford, but he's what you'd call a super user or a community leader. In a decentralized project like Pi, people like him are incredibly important. They bridge the gap between the developers and the massive global user base. They take the tools the core team builds and put them to the test in real-world scenarios, providing invaluable feedback along the way. Kosasih has taken on the role of testing the Stable GCV in a controlled environment. He initiated a test transaction using the proposed value of $314,159 per Pi. This isn't just a random person sending coins, it's a structured experiment. By conducting these tests, he's helping to identify potential issues, understand transaction behavior at this high value. Now let's get a little more technical, but I'll keep it simple. The Pi network isn't built from scratch. It's built on top of the Stellar Consensus Protocol, or SCP. SCP is the engine that powers the Stellar blockchain, known for fast and low-cost transactions. Recently, a major upgrade to this engine called Protocol 23 has started being tested on GitHub. Think of this like your phone getting a major operating system update. It doesn't just change the look, it fundamentally improves performance, security, and adds a bunch of new capabilities under the hood. So what's new in Stellar Protocol version 23? One of the biggest features being tested is something called Soroban, which is a new smart contracts platform. Smart contracts are basically self-executing agreements, and they are the building blocks for creating decentralized applications, or dApps. Before this, Stellar was great for simple payments, but a bit limited for more complex applications. So you have a community that agrees on a value, the GCV, but how do you make sure everyone sticks to it? This is where new, specific technical tools come in. 2 modules have appeared in the code: mainnet value synchronizer badge assigner, visual, mainnet value synchronizer, and badge assigner working together to turn a larger gear labeled stable pi coin. Mainnet value synchronizer, think orchestra conductor. Its job, make sure every transaction plays the same tune, honoring the GCV. It runs as a background process, monitoring enclosed mainnet transactions. It checks if the value exchange aligns with the agreed-upon GCV. For example, if you're buying a product worth $3,141.59, the system would expect the transaction to be for 0.01 pi, assuming the $314,159 GCV. If it sees transactions happening at wildly different values, it can flag them. This isn't about controlling users, it's about ensuring economic stability. It helps prevent people from undervaluing the coin and destabilizing the system before it gets off the ground. Then badge assigner, it works hand in hand with the synchronizer. Why is there so much focus on stability and what's being called purity for Pi coin? Well, it all comes down to building long-term trust. In the wild west of cryptocurrency, new coins launch on an open market and are immediately hit with intense speculation. This causes extreme price volatility. $10 one day, 10 cents the next. Impossible to use as a real currency for buying and selling. So, with all this new technology, what's actually happening right now to prepare for a public GCV launch? The process is deliberate and multi-staged. Controlled tests, expanded beta marketplace community education, public GCV launch first and foremost, controlled tests, like the ones being run by Kosasih, small-scale internal transactions, inside an enclosed mainnet, test the feasibility of the GCV, check for bugs in the transaction process, gather data on system behavior, alpha testing phase. A few trusted users stress test the mechanics. Next, expand tests to a wider group, whitelist certain vendors and pioneers. Alright, so you've been tapping that button on your phone every day, accumulating pi. Alright, so you've been tapping that button on your phone every day, accumulating pi. Alright, so you've been tapping that button on your phone every day, accumulating pi. What do all these technical updates and GCV tests actually mean for you? First and foremost, it means your patience might be getting closer to a payoff. These developments are the most concrete signs we've seen that pi is moving towards real, tangible value. The GCV tests, even if they are just tests, provide a glimpse into the economic potential the core team and a large part of the community are aiming for. It transforms the pi you've mined from a simple number on a screen into a potential asset with a defined goal. For pioneers who have completed their KYC and migrated their pi to the mainnet, these updates are especially relevant. You are the ones who will likely be first in line to participate in any expanded testing or early marketplace activities. It's a good time to make sure your wallet is set up correctly and you understand how to send pi and receive pi. As the ecosystem develops, your migrated pi becomes your ticket to participate in this new economy. These updates signal that the time to simply accumulate is shifting towards a time to potentially use what you've accumulated. This is also a call to get educated. The success of the GCV depends on the community's collective action.